Hello, ineffable being. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful, magical day. I want to tell you that you are a genius. You are special. You mean the world, and you are loved. Today's topic is happiness is not bells and whistles. Happiness is not bells and whistles. What is happiness? I like for you to just think about it. Like, what is happiness? Do you spend your days in glee and joy? Or do you spend your day in sorrow, hatred, negative emotions, anxiety? Well, for the great many of us, I think we experience both spectrums. Sometimes we're right in the middle, sometimes we're at extremes. And in severe situations, we are at one extreme or the other, and this is what we call life. So, where does happiness stem from? And that's what we're going to talk about. That'll be the first point that we'll talk about today. Where does happiness stem from? What actually is happiness? And then I'm going to share what happiness is for me. So, where do you get happiness from? Is it sex, drugs, friends, football, video games, meditating, taking a walk? Where does happiness come from? And if you notice, I gave some things that society as a whole will deem wrong. And then I also gave some things that are very commonly accepted, as video games or playing basketball. My concern isn't with what you go or where you go to find happiness. My issue is that you are going somewhere, that you are having to do something with your physical body. My concern is that we do not know how to affect consciously our biochemistry. So again, some of us go to the clubs and go out clubbing. And I'm not saying this is bad or wrong. Some of us go to meditate or take a walk late at night or early in the morning. Again, this is nor right nor wrong. But if happiness is something that's important to you, and you have to do something to go receive that, well, let me digress. If happiness is important to you, you'd like to spend your day happy for the most part, and you realize there's a list of things that you normally do to be happy, whether it be Netflix and chill, comfort food, Disney movies, napping, and so forth. Well, then what you're telling yourself literally is this makes me happy, and I can only do this limited amount of time. If meditation makes you happy, and I love using this example, not to say anything bad about it, but just because a lot of people can say, oh yeah, if you meditate, you're in that Zen state. Well, most of the population isn't out in the mountains bearded or bald, able to meditate all day. So the reason I say this is because how much of your day are you creating happiness? If you use your physical body, if it's money that makes you happy, well, you can only work 8 to 12 hours a day if this is a country that has regulations. And other countries, and let's say there are no regulations, well, ineffable beings, you literally can't work 24/7. If walking on the beach, on the shore, makes you happy, and you're telling yourself, and this thing makes you happy, your unconscious mind looks at your actions and looks at the emotion associated with every action. So mentally, you understand this action. Chemically, you understand what happens. And then your unconscious says, this is happiness. My problem with this is that you can't walk on the beach your whole life. In essence, you can't be happy your whole life. And I understand that I am breaking a norm, bringing forth the idea that we can, every individual can be happy 24/7. I understand this is taboo and this is a dream and this is probably left for people that are bearded and live in mountains or bald and live in drapes and so forth. But the case is that is not true. And whatever you go to do happiness, The simple fact is, you are limiting yourself by not using your consciousness. You are limiting yourself by not using your energy, your emotions, your mind, your heart to create happiness. Because if you have to meditate or take a walk, a stroll down the shore, then simply your happiness is for 30 minutes. I don't know anybody that walks 5 hours a day. I don't know anybody that does that. And that person, they walk because they're happy. So what about the rest of their day? You're telling me that you're not going to be happy because you're not meditating. You can't be having sex all day. Literally, like physically you can't. You have to use restroom. You have to take a shower. You have to eat. If it's money that makes you happy, you can't literally be making money all day. Now, of course, there's, other types of income, and that's a different story. But the simple fact is, for the majority of us, whatever we call happiness, we can't do it 24/7. For this reason, I like to look at happiness differently. I like to take charge of my instruments. I understand that physiology is really against me. I understand that every situation creates a neural network in the brain, and the emotion associated to that action is going to determine how large of a neural network is created. In situations of stress hormones, whenever I am living through survival, anxiety, fear, unworthiness, I said fear already, and so forth, we are taking a snapshot of that memory, of that situation, because my body wants to remember this situation in case it happens again. So what does this mean? What is the reverence behind that? We're keeping ourselves listed in this paradigm of unworthiness, of survival emotions. And not only are we literally not able to create and grow out of this, but we are signaling to ourselves, to our DNA and our genetic code, that we're not happy. And it's a proven fact that the long-term effects of stress down-regulate genes and create disease. Long-term effects. So I decided, well, damn, maybe I can use my intelligence, because epigenetics says that the environment signals a gene. And my genetic expression is my intelligence, my health, my energy, my memory strength, my tenacity, my ability to create. That's all determined through my genetic expression. So if the environment signals a gene, and it does, the question I ask you is, embracing an elevated emotion ahead of the experience, will you do it? Will you use your intelligence to change your genetic code, to change your brain, your thought pattern, and your emotions consciously? So let's look at what emotions are. What is happiness? What is anxiety? Well, if you're happy, let's look at your chemistry. It's going to look a certain way. If you're feeling the chemicals of anxiety, fear, unworthiness, we can look at your chemistry and each of these different emotions, and your chemistry will be distinct. It will be different. So when we boil it down, happiness should not be a Ferrari. What we see on social media, these Instagram accounts, and I follow them, and I like their pictures, because that's where I'm going. But I'm not going to sit in here and think, oh, money is a Rolls Royce. Money is having my girl in Louis Vuittons. Now, granted, sure, I can accept that, and that is a goal for me, and that's more than fine. But it's not going to be my happiness. It's not where I'm going to plant my seed. It's simply material. Happiness is an emotion. Your chemistry is your happiness, if it is looking like it's happy. So, where do we root ourselves when we decide what is happiness to me? That's first and foremost. And let's remember, for most of the population, we have to create this happiness with our physical body. We don't know yet how to create, change, affect, better our biochemistry consciously. What I mean by consciously is, I can sit here right now, induce an elevated emotion, use my brain, my heart, my energy to uplift myself, to better my biochemistry, to change my genetic expression, in essence, change my life. And the last thing I'd like to tell you is, well, just going back to the topic of today, happiness is not bells and whistles. So it's easy for me to believe that, oh, I need a Rolls Royce and I need to buy my girlfriend a bouquet of roses, 100 roses, and I need this house and all of these things, or I need to take a walk on the beach. Oh, that doesn't take money. What are you talking about a Rolls Royce? You can just meditate. Well, look, that's still very limiting because I can't meditate all day. I can't be in 100 different yoga positions all day because I want to eat, I want to work, make money, have communication. There's other things in my life. So the answer to me, to happiness, is ineffable. Ineffable is when your experience of life is so grand and you just can't really put it into words. And the best thing you do is just try. So happiness to me is not bells and whistles. Whenever you're truly happy and at your core, you are creating this happiness. The world isn't going to celebrate you. You're not going to just receive confetti and champagne bottles. Surely no one's really going to notice. And if they do notice, they're even worse. They're not going to acknowledge, hey, wow, there's something different about you. Your light looks different. Your expression looks different. Your voice, your tone sounds different. No. They just think, oh, he's having a good day. And they go on about their day because they have good days and they have bad days. But who do you want to be? Do you want them? Do you want to be they? Or do you want to consciously affect your biochemistry? Do you want your happiness to be created at your core? Because when it is, happiness is silence. Happiness is ineffable. Happiness is in the little things. Happiness is the assurance that independent of what's going on in your life, rain or sunshine, hell or heaven, whatever is going on, you know that you have a little tool. And that could be called spirit, God, the heart, intelligence, unified quantum field, karma. But that little secret, that little seed that is inside of you, you're going to know that I have access to this. It doesn't matter what race, what skin color, how much fat or skinny I am, how fast I am, what my IQ is. You're going to know at your core, wow, this is happiness. It's silent. It's personal. It's intimate. It's mine. It's power. It's confidence. Because confidence comes from you being able to stand up and tell yourself what you are when the world, at this moment, living through your core, the world cannot tell you what you are and how you feel. That is happiness. This is my blessing and my passion for you. Please, I invite you to join me on my masterclass this month. I do a monthly masterclass the last Saturday of every month where I share how to live through the heart. We talk about the mystical of creating an emotion ahead of the experience, and we also talk about the epigenetics, the metacognition, the neurogenesis. We break both fields of it, the mystical and the scientific, the right brain and the left brain, understanding something experientially and understanding something logically. So I invite you to join me this month on the free masterclass and learn how to change your biochemistry consciously. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Share it on your social media accounts with your partner, your friends, and family. Also comment below what topics would you like to hear in the future. I hope to see you on the side of light. Goodbye.